The Lord indeed is our strong tower, and the Lord is our deliverer. Pero madalas tayo rin na nagpapasubo sa mga sarili natin sa gulo. Ang ating pag-aaral ngayon, pinamagatan natin, don't talk too much. Huwag masyadong matabil, madaldal at maraming salita para tahimik ang buhay. Dear God, we thank you that you are God of peace and that you are our shelter, our strong tower. We pray now, Lord, that we may be enlightened so as not to cause and inflict trouble upon ourselves. Patawarin niyo po kami sa aming mga kasalanan at nawa maunawa namin ang mensahe niyo para sa bawat isa sa amin ngayon at maging kapakipakinabang ito para lalong tumahimik ang buhay namin at buhay ng aming kapwa. Father, be our speaker. Kayo po ang mangaral sa aming lahat. Ituwid niyo po ang aming mga kalikuan. Ganon din na nanalangin kami, Panginoon, na palakasin niyo po ang aming mga katawan. Pagalingin niyo po ayon sa iyong kapangyarihan ang aming mga karamdaman, maging karamdaman ng mga mahal namin sa buhay. At dawa maging payapa, tahimik ang aming kalooban ngayon at mapagtuunan namin kayo ng pansin na walang kaagaw at maturuan niyo po kami sa makapangyarihang paraan. Nananalangin kami, nagpapasalamat sa ngalan ng iyong anak na si Jesus. Amen. Don't talk too much. Gano'ng karaming beses na po na tayo nalagay sa gulo dahil sa kadaldalan. Maybe kadaldalan natin o kadaldalan ng ibang tao. Mark 1:40. A man with leprosy came to Jesus and knelt down. He begged, "You have the power to make me well, if only you wanted to." The man was gravely needy. There was only one person who could help him completely, and that was Jesus. Sabi niya, "You have the power." Kinilala niya, nananalig siya at wala siyang duda na kaya siyang pagalingin ng Panginoon. Mark 1:41-42. Jesus felt sorry for the man, so he put his hand on him and said, "I want to. Now you are well." At once the man's leprosy disappeared, and he was well. So Jesus touched the leper, healing him, but joining him in his space and situation. Pagka po tayo tumutulong, tayo naapektuhan, hindi pwedeng hindi. Pag tayo nagbibigay, tayo nababawasan. Pag tayo nagpapatawad, tayo ay merong tinatanggal mula sa ating sariling kapakanan tungo sa iba. In touching the leper, Jesus made himself unclean. At least ceremonially, because to touch a leper would render one unclean. And in touching the leper, Jesus gave power away. Isang example po ng ganitong power na nawawala pag ibinibigay, Mark 5:28-30. The woman said to herself, "If I can touch and just touch his clothes, I will get well." As soon as she touched them, her bleeding stopped and she knew she was well. At that moment, Jesus felt power go out from him. He turned to the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" Ganun na lang ang pananalig ng babae na pag nahawakan niya ang mga damit o kahit man lang laylayan ng mga damit na suot ng Panginoon, kasi layers yung mga damit na yun gagaling siya. But what we see here is that healing drains the healer. Naramdaman ng Panginoon, lumabas ang kapangyarihan mula sa kanyang katawan at pumunta naman sa katawan ng babae na pakinabangan niya. Giving drains the giver. Mark 1:43-44. After Jesus strictly warned the man, he sent him on his way. He said, "Don't tell anyone about this." So balik na tayo sa kwento ng leper. Matapos gumaling yung may ketong na ito, sabi ng Panginoon, huwag na huwag mong maipapamalita itong naganap. Keep quiet. Jesus had his reasons but did not elaborate. Givers have the reasons for wanting to be anonymous and discreet. May mga givers na gustong i-announce yung giving nila at yun ang sabi ng Panginoon, huwag ka dapat ganun. Pero may mga givers naman na gusto tahimik lang at huwag nang malaman ng iba. So unless the giver wants the giving to be announced, it is better to be silent about it. Why? Why be silent? To protect the giver from more requests, from abuse, from pressure, and unwanted attention. Natandaan ko nung high school days namin, meron kami isang production, stage production, and we were getting donors and sponsors, and we were printing souvenir programs, ilalagay din mga pangalan ng sponsor, donor, etc., etc. Then I remember this very particular respected professor who donated a lot of money and said, "Please do not put me on the list. Huwag niyo akong ilalagay sa mga donor, sponsor, whatever." At ako naman, I had the audacity to ask her, "Sige, Professor Gapud, bakit po ayaw niyong malagay yung pangalan niyo? Nag-donate naman kayo talaga." Sabi niya, di lahat ng makakatingin sa program, pag sila magpo-produce, pupunta rin sa akin. Hihingi rin ng donation. Kaya lang kita binibigyan kasi naniniwala ako sa cause nyo. But in every cause, not in every cause that comes my way. So may mga givers na tahimik ang gusto nila, hindi dahil humble sila, kundi dahil wise sila. Bakit mo nga naman pagmamakaingay? Ang isa sa mga pinakamalaking problema Pag nagkapera ka at alam ng marami, edi wala na silang ginawa kundi pag nasaan yung pera mo. Pag namunga ka, gustong sungkitin ang lahat. Gustong hingin ang lahat dyan. So, it is better to be silent to respect the wishes of the giver. Napautang ka, huwag ka na maingay. Nabigyan, huwag nang maingay. Mark 1:45. Nanahimik kaya yung lalaki. Bilang na lang ganti at pagtanaw ng utang na loob, sabi, huwag ka maingay, huwag mo ipamalita. The man talked about it so much and told so many people that Jesus could no longer go openly into a town. He had to stay away from the towns, but people still came to him from everywhere. So yun palang isang dahilan kung bakit ayaw ng Panginoon na mabalita. Kasi masyado siyang nagiging popular, pinagkakaguluhan, and in Palestine, in this area, yung maraming taong nagkakatipon-tipon, malaking threat sa gobyerno. The Roman government was allergic to crowds, especially crowds in Israel that so easily get excited and make riots. So hindi dapat masyadong napapansin. So sabi niya, don't talk. Pero anong ginawa niya? Lalo nagsalita. Pahamak na recipient. Kayo ba pahamak? Yung nabigyan na kayo, malalaman pa ng iba yung source, pati tuloy sila makikihingi. Nagkaroon na tayo ng benefit. Yung may mahabang pila, may isa kang kilala, sinenyasang ka na lang, na doon ka na lang sa kabila para maiksi o tutulungan ka niya. Kitang-kita pa ng lahat na pupunta ka doon, sunuran tuloy, napapahamak yung tumutulong sa'yo. May mga ganun eh. Innumerable people lost opportunities to be ministered to by Jesus because Jesus now had to avoid entering towns. Maraming sanay na pagaling pa kung tahimik lang tong lalaking to, pero ang ingay-ingay niya. Jesus was terribly limited. Of course, now we talk about it because Jesus can no longer be crowded about and around by so many people. Iba na kasi yung panahon. You can talk about it. But at that time, Jesus preferred that such miraculous events be kept silent. And besides, he did not want to be known as a miracle worker. He wanted to be known as a teacher of salvation, of an emancipator, somebody who set people free from the needless imprisonment to religion and tradition and many social expectations. Pero dahil naaawa siya, nagpapagaling din, pero hindi naman yun ang number one reason kaya siya nagpunta sa lupa. Nagpatayo siya ng mga iglesia, hindi naman ng mga ospital. Bagamat, gawain ng mga iglesia ngayon na magtayo ng mga yan, because we like the love of Christ to be extended to people, and besides, Jesus was really a healer. But at the time, he preferred to be left alone. Anong application niya sa buhay natin? Respect people's wish and need for anonymity, for privacy, for discretion. Don't talk about what you see or hear or know, especially if you have obtained the information in a questionable way. Nalaman mong may sakit yung isang tao pero hindi naman siya nagsabi sa'yo, keep quiet. Hindi yung pupunta ka pa sa kanya, huy, nabalitaan ko, may cancer ka ha. Yung, hindi naman sa'yo sinasabi eh. Pero marami talaga mga tao napakatatabil. Hindi malaman kung anong gagawin doon sa nalaman nila para nagpupumiglas na dalag yung dila nila na gustong tumalon at magsabi ng mga kung ano-ano. Very especially, respect those who help you. May tumulong na makapag-enroll ang anak mo, ipapamalita mo pa, di mga anak nila nakapila din doon sa gate ng tao na yung kinabukasan. Be discreet and follow instructions, especially if it's from Jesus or from those who help you. That's the least you could do. Don't talk more than necessary. Don't talk too much. Proverbs 10:19, you will say the wrong thing if you talk too much. So be sensible and watch what you say. Yung kinumusta ka lang, kumusta, ikinuwento mo na yung buong medical history mo. Sa susunod, pag nakakasalubong ka ng tao na iniiwas na siya dahil ayaw ka na niya kumustahin dahil isang volume ang sagot. Dapat proportionate lang. Konting kinumusta ka, konting sagot. Konting may sinabi sa'yo, konting sagot. Malalaman nun kung gusto niya ng mahabang usapan magpaparamdam yung tao. Pero wag naman yung naging napakahirap ng pagsubok kung paano puputulin ang napakahaba mong dila. Don't talk too much. And sabi nga ng Proverbs, if you talk too much, chances are you will say the wrong thing. So sino ang napapahamak? Ano ang nasisira sa katabilan natin? Review the past. Gano'ng karaming tao napahamak dahil may nasabi tayong hindi dapat sabihin. Ephesians 4:29, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. And very especially, it may benefit the subject, yung pausap mo. So we talk to build people up para sila gumanda ang pakiramdam, para umasenso ang kanilang karunungan, para umangat-angat ang kanilang kalagayan. Pero maraming beses baligtad ang dahilan o magiging bunga ng ating pagsasalita. May napapahamak, may napapahiya. At meron pa na napakagaling magsalita para lang i-prove na magaling sila sa repartee, that they could put people down with their tongue and that they could silence everybody. Actually, you'll be hated if that is the way we use our tongues. Ang taong espiritual, you will control your tongue. Proverbs 13:3, those who control their tongue will have a long life. Opening your mouth can ruin everything. So a loose tongue, sabi nila, all often gets its honor in a tight place. Maraming pinagsisisihan na hindi sana nangyari kung hindi lang nagsalita agad. Maraming mga damages ang hindi dapat nangyari kung maingat lang tayo sa pagsasalita. Now, it's not only our tongues that we should control. We should also help control other people's tongues. How? By not asking them. Yung merong taong gusto magkwento pero diniscourage mo na, so na-control mo rin yung tongue niya. Hindi ka na nagtanong, hindi ka na nagkusisa, hindi mo na in-encourage na magkwento pa siya na magkwento. And when they begin to tell stories that should not be told, you can help control their tongues by not listening to them. You can change the topic, you can leave the room, or you can be direct and say, I really don't want to talk about these things. Then na-control mo rin sila. Proverbs 26:20, where there is no fuel, a fire goes out. Where there is no gossip, arguments come to an end. So yung may dalawa nag-aaway, kausap mo si A, may sinabi, pupunta ka kay B, alam mo sabi ni A, siyempre si B naman sabi, may sasabihin din siya, punta ka naman kay A, alam mo sabi ni B, hindi matapos-tapos yung gulo, ikaw pala yung nagpapalala. An open ear is fuel to the fire of talk. People must know. You must let people know that not every word they will say is welcome in your ears. Dapat nag-aalangan din sila magsalita ng makalaswaan, mga kapangitan, kapintasan, chismis in your presence. Respeto nila sa iyo yun. At dapat turuan natin ang mga tao magrespeto na in my presence, you cannot say just anything about just anybody because I will not allow it. Then you teach people to control their tongues. Sabi na Ephesians 4:27, don't give the devil a chance. In many ways, in every way. Pagka merong eager, tapos ikaw naman willing makinig, you are giving the devil a chance to take over. An open ear is a great chance for talk to grow. So, hold your tongue from needless talk. Pamimintas na wala namang uuwian na mabuti para sa pinintasan o sa nakikinig. Pagrereklamo na hindi naman mag-i-improve yung situation, lalo lang tuloy naging na-discourage, na siraan ng loob, o nawala ng gana sa buhay yung kausap natin. Close your ears for needless words. And there's one other thing. Forgive loose tongues. Gano'ng karaming beses na kayo nasaktan dahil may madaldal? Dahil may sinabing pangit, mali man o tama, pero pangit pakinggan at nakakasakit ng loob. Gano'ng karaming sama ng loob ang kinikimkim natin sa mga taong may sinabing hindi maganda laban sa atin o mga mahal natin sa buhay. You know what you should do? Learn from Jesus. Forgive. Forgive loose tongues. Sabi nga nila, they might not deserve your forgiveness, but you deserve your peace. And when you forgive, you become peaceful. So forgive. If you are not kind, forgive because you are wise. Kahit hindi nila deserve na mapatawad mo, deserve mong matahimik. At kung pagpapatawad lang magbibigay sa'yo ng katahimikan, ba't mo naman ipagkakait sa sarili mo yung katahimikan na yon? Minsan sa gusto natin makaganti o sa kaayawan natin magpatawad, tayo yung patuloy at paulit-ulit na nalulugi. Kasi tingnan natin yung sama natin ng loob, nagagalit tayo, nagkakasala tayo, nasisira yung ating mood, nawawala tayo ng gana, nasisira yung creativity, at the end of the day you lose. Minsan ka lang ginawa ng mali, pero ting araw-araw aalalahanin mo yon. One day, every week, every day, every month, di 30 times ka nang nalugi. Eh kung 2 months, 3 months, ang dami-daming beses mo nang nalugi for one offense committed once. But every remembrance multiplies it. And it happens as if it just happened again. So yung pagpapatawad, lalo sa mga matadaldal, nanira, nagchismis, huwag na kayong umuwi ngayon na may dala-dala pang galit, ipatawad nyo na. Sabi nga natin, kung hindi kayo dahil mabait, kasi dahil matalino kayo. Kasi kayo rin yung nagdadala, kayo rin yung nahihirapan. May nagsasabi that speech is silver, silence is gold at the right moments. So kung minsan, ang maibibigay lang natin sa ating kamag-anak, sa ating kaibigan, sa mahal sa buhay, the gift of our silence. Yung halimbawa, yung may mga sakit, alam mo naman na hindi pa gumagaling, alam mo naman na nagdurusa pa, naghihirap pa, pinipilit pa rin magpagamot, tapos lagi mo itatanong, how are you? It's a very thoughtless question. Because you know na hindi na siya well pa, anong ine-expect mong sagot? I'm not well. Edi that the question and the answer will make the person feel bad. And just going through the motions of explaining to you why the person is not well already adds burden to the patient or to the ones who care for the patient. Lalo yung nasa ospital, textan mo, kumusta ka na? Alam mong nasa ospital pa. Kung magaling na kasi yun, nasa bahay na yun. So sabay, ano pong ite-text ko? Di pwede ka mag-text, I prayed for you today. It does not require an answer. Alam nyo ba na napakalaki kagaspangan na magtanong na nagre-require ng sagot? Kasi inilalagay nyo yung tao sa alanganin kung sasagot or not. Solve na ba yung problem mo? Paano kung hindi pa? Pero ayaw na niya mapag-usapan pa. You can just say, I'm praying that all your problems be solved. That they disappear into thin air. That they evaporate. Yung I'm praying for you. I remembered you today and wish you well. Mga ganun na lang, huwag na kayo magtanong. Bumalik na ba ang husband mo? Yung, bakit mo ako tinatanong? Kasama mo ngayon, ba't babalik sa akin? Diba? Yung mga ganyan-ganyang mga tanong na useless. Kung minsan naman hindi natin gustong manakit, hindi natin gustong mang-offend, di lang tayo nag-iisip na nakaka-open na pala yung mga style natin. Kaya sa puting tahimik. Don't always require an answer. Kahit mga anak nyo, darating sa bahay na para walang kakibo-kibo, medyo malungkot, magtatanong ka lang ng isang diagnostic question. Kahit na gusto bang kumain, it's already a signal that you want to talk kung may problema siya. At pag naramdaman yung parang ayaw, ba't hindi ka kumikibo? Tapos ayaw ng kumibo, ano, kumibo ka? It's a pressure. Kaya sinabi natin, most of the time, your silence is already a great gift. Especially if any word you will say would only become judgmental or self-righteous, or it would be a pressure to the other person. Give the person the gift of your silence. You don't always have to prove that you know what's going on in people's lives. And that is a temptation why many people talk and ask, because they want to prove that they know something. But you know, you never get liked for being such a sleuth. Gusto natin yung pag gusto nating tahimik, iginagalang tayo. Respect people when they want to be silent. Although of course, be sensitive, because atin gusto na pala niya magpakamatay. Kaya, nagiging sensitive ka rin, nagbibigay ka ng mga opening. Gusto mo, you want to take a walk? Pero huwag ka magtatanong, anong problema mo? Lalo kung ayaw niyang sabihin. Kasi kung gusto niyang sabihin, sasabihin niya. Ama namin, turuan niyo po kami na matutong manahimik sa panahong dapat at magsalita sa panahong dapat at kapakipakinabang magsalita. Turo mo sa amin, Panginoon, yung pananagutan ng gift of tongue. Na nung binigyan mo kami ng kakayahan magsalita, meron ka ibinigay na pananagutan. At sinabi rin sa Biblia na mananagot kami sa bawat isang walang katuturang salitang sinasambit namin. Turuan mo kay Panginoon na pag magbubuka ng bibig, yung nakakagaling, nakakagamot, nakakapagpaginhawa ng kalooban, at kung maaari pa nga nakakapagpasaya, nakakapagpaluwag ng dibdib. Turuan mo kami na manahimik kung ang pagsasalita ay magdadagdag lamang ng pamamroblema sa aming kapwa, o magpapapangit ng aming imahen, o magpapagulo sa sitwasyon. Teach us to resist the temptation to always have the last word, to always have a say, to always say something wise or admirable. But teach us the value of silence. When correctly applied, it reflects your goodness. Teach us, O God, how to use this properly. Pagbulay-bulayan natin, napakasimpleng paalalang ito. Nasa kasimplihan, madalas sa ating malimutan. Suriin natin mga kapatid kung anong mga pananagutan at kasalanan ng mga dila natin at tumahimik tayo, humingi tayo ng tawad sa Diyos. At ganon din kung meron kayong kinakasamaan ng loob, galit kayo dahil sa mga sinabi doon, patawarin nyo na ngayon na, huwag na bukas. Why carry that weight another day? Forgive people, and in the process, you also release yourself. Lord, in silence, instruct us, correct us, discipline us, and even comfort us. Be with God for a while, hear His voice.